History of the theory. Scholars of motor ability began testing and measuring balance in the 1930s. The scholars were generally testing time when balancing, as well as either measuring static balancing or dynamic balancing. The testing that was originally performed were unnatural tasks that would not normally be performed in everyday life, such as balancing on one leg or walking along a narrow beam. After doing this research through static contrived poses, the scholars discovered that there was no real relationship between static and dynamic balance, so they redesigned their testing. Balance. There are no theories for balance and stability, however, there are multiple definitions and understandings of what the two terms mean. Physicists generally believe that static balance is very similar to the term equilibrium and define it as when a condition of equilibrium exists, all forces and all torques are equal to zero. Coaches and motor performance experts will describe static balance as a condition in which a body or object is not linearly or angularly moving. The object is stationary. Referring back to the human body, it is not falling over. Dynamic balance is not a term usually used by physicists, as they generally believe that balance and dynamic are two contradicting terms, but will define it as changing linear or angular velocity. Coaches and motor performance experts will define dynamic balance as having an ability of control over the neuromuscular system and having the ability to move and change directions in various environmental conditions and to be able to not fall over. Stability. Although most may think that balance and stability are the same thing, they are two different concepts. A physicist will describe stability as an object or body being either stable or unstable. Coaches and motor learning experts believe that there are multiple levels of stability which depend on the mass and mass distribution of the body, as well as the body's response and counteractions to its stability, for example, being knocked over. As well as static balance and dynamic balance, there are other elements that go into creating stability and balance in the human body. These include center of gravity, a point where weight is evenly dispersed and all sides are in balance. In the human body, the center of gravity can change through movement of the body. Line of gravity. This is an imaginary straight line that passes through the center of gravity of an object. Base of support. This is an area that is formed on a surface by an area that is around the supporting elements of an object in balance. For example, if standing on 2 feet, the base of support is the area of the imprints of both feet and the space between them. According to Dr. Eugene Brown in the Michigan State University, for an athlete to improve and maintain balance, there are 5 principles of stability and balance. For balance to exist, the line of gravity must intersect with the base of support. If the area of the base of support of an object is increased, this tends to increase the stability of the object. The lower the center of gravity is above the base of support, the more stable the object tends to be. Objects that are more massive tend to be more stable. For an object, the farther the line of gravity's intersection is from the edge of the base of support, the more stable the object tends to be in that direction. An example of balance and stability being used in a sport is gymnastics, particularly in the balance beam event. It is a women's only event, and gymnasts have to perform a number of maneuvers including spins, flips, and leaps on a 10 cm wide bar with precision and extreme balance. The judges score the athletes on their ability to execute a routine, judging areas such as lapse in control, balance checks, which is swaying or stumbling to keep their balance, and poor technique. If the gymnast falls off the beam from loss of balance, major points are deducted from their score. Masterclass. This is a snippet from the 2016 Olympic Games. Simone Biles performs her balance beam routine. She starts off with a spin, balancing on the ball of her foot, which is her base of support. She positions herself so that there is an even amount of weight dispersed on either side of her body, which creates a line of gravity to the base of support, therefore meaning her center of gravity, exhibiting a clear example of the first, third, and fifth principles of balance and stability. The next maneuver that Simone attempts towards the end of her routine is a tucked front flip. As she lands, her weight is not evenly dispersed over her landing foot. The trunk of her body is angled backwards and to the left side of the bar in comparison to where her base of support is. This disrupts her line of gravity, which must intersect with the base of support for balance to occur, according to the first principle of balance and stability. In an attempt to regain balance, she kicks at her leg in front of her where there is not enough weight, then stumbles backwards to realign her line of gravity. If Simone was to land in a slightly more upright manner, as she did in the qualifying competition previous to the Olympics, it would have been easier for her to regain balance on the beam and carry on with her routine. There are multiple interpretations of static and dynamic balance and stability, depending on what kind of person asked. For balance to occur, there are components that are essential in having good balance and stability. These include center of gravity, line of gravity, and base of support. There are 5 principles of balance and stability that allow for good balance in the human body. These allow the athletes to improve balance if followed. Balance is an essential skill needed in a number of sports, including gymnastics, especially in the balance beam event. It can be seen through Simone Biles' 2016 Olympic balance beam routine that even the slightest loss of control of balance can cause major effects on a person's stability. But with the right knowledge and control, an athlete can improve balance and stability enormously.